everyone, and welcome. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone, and with me tonight we have
Caitlin playing Fable Frost, the Ace Genasi Phoenix Soul Sorcerer. Treasure.
Kez. That's you.
It's your line.
You're muted. You're still muted.
Sorry. I'm Kez, and I'm playing Treasure, the Tiefling Barbarian.
There you go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eric, and I'm playing Sirach, the Aarakocra Horizon Walker Ranger.
Hi, y'all. I'm Mars. I am not muted, and I'm playing Talroth Oakenblade, the Wood Elf Scout.
And I am Tom. I will be playing Navi, the Half-Elf Rune Knight.
Welcome, everyone. We are super excited to have you guys here and joining us for this evening. This is Disasters in Danger. It is our D&D 5e high fantasy game that we are super excited to jump into in just a couple of minutes. But before we get into tonight's adventure, we do have a couple of quick announcements. Caitlin.
No, someone else do it. Eric turned his camera on and off, and so it moved everybody, and everyone just fucking shifted when he came back. And we had to drag and move everybody back into place. We're all ourselves again. I could do the announcement.
I'm so sorry.
I'm Tom, and I'm going to be playing Sirach, the...
Oh, and you haven't even heard the voice, so you doing that is hilarious for lots of reasons.
Nicely done.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Random Encounter Productions, where it's this kind of chaos all the time. We are sponsored by Norse Foundry Dice. You can see them over to this side. Oh my god, my camera's not flipped here like it is in Discord. I love it. They sell all kinds of dice, which our friends are showing off right now. Thank you all, friends. And if you want to get 15% off of your entire order, which is quite a lot, quite frankly, especially considering they big, shiny dice, you can use our discount code REPRPG. That's REPRPG, same as our channel handle. So you can get yourselves dice, boxes, dice, spell cards. That's not how you spell foundry. Norse Foundry. Aha! Gemstone dice. Big honkin' boulder dice, which you'll see me roll later today if we get into dire straits. It is Goblin Mine, trying to clip math rocks. And we will have you know, they deliver super fast. Andrew, who plays Grizz, our dwarven cook, and was here last Monday, bought his set of metal dice during Monday's show, and they got there by the end of the week. Like, he has them already. He had them this weekend. They were ready to go. So absolutely check that out. Get yourself some clacky, shiny math rocks, and if you're in our server, please show them off, because that is what we like to do, is just look at dice shinies. They're so nice.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So also, we do want to shine a quick spotlight on some of our friendly other channels. So Tom, why don't you tell us about Wicked Game RPG?
Me? I couldn't possibly. Okay. Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me yet again. In case you couldn't tell, I'm not, originally one of the Rep RPG gods that you see before you. I actually come from Wicked Game RPG over on Twitch at Wicked Game RPG, over on Twitter and Instagram and all of those good places at exactly the same place. We do tons of good D&D content. We currently have a, if I don't say so myself, fantastic sort of short sort of term campaign going on called the Lighthouse of Isodos. Three people that shouldn't be running a lighthouse essentially. We usually run those games on a Wednesday night. This week, unfortunately, well, no, not unfortunately, fortunately, we are joining the strike effort, the effort that is going on the 1st of September, so we will not be streaming. However, we're hoping to be streaming at some point during that week anyway, so fingers crossed you'll see us. If not, you may just see us for the Dragon Age stream that Michelle and Lydia do on a Thursday, which I personally am loving watching. I know that, yeah, I know that some of the Rep RPG people are coming to see that as well. I'm going to stop talking now, but come and check us out at
Talk
Wicked
all the
Game RPG.
time. We love you. I wanted to jump in really fast to mention, as many of you know, if you've been following, there's a lot of stuff going on with Twitch that many creators have been speaking out against. Please keep in mind a lot of creators have other platforms you can support them on directly without going through Twitch. If they have a Patreon, if they have a coffee, if they have a Buy Me Coffee or a commissions of any kind, or just a way to tip them through PayPal instead of anything else that you are concerned about. If you are trying to support them despite that effort, please be sure to ask your favorite creator how they want to be supported, because we want all of our fellow creators to have that income and that place on the internet that is safe for them to make money and enjoy themselves and create and be passionate about what they do. So ask your favorite creator, hey, where may I go to help you? Like, what do you need from me? And I promise they will be grateful to know that. So that's all.
All right. And I believe that is it. Eric, I know you've been busy being a journeyman and graduating to true non-apprentice status. Congratulations to you for that.
Thank you.
Is there any news about Geekapella or about Sydney's channel or anything you would like to share, since it's been a minute since we've seen you?
It has been a minute. So Geekapella, nothing at this exact moment. But if you want to start supporting another fine creator, go ahead and search for Notorious Potato. That is my beautiful fiance and her Twitch channel, where she does music streams, video games, and all that fun jazz. So it's Notorious Potato on Twitch, as well as her YouTube channel, which is her Ready Go Music, where she makes music content for music teachers.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for all the wonderful content and sharing and everything. So let's dive in to tonight's adventure, shall we?
Let's shout.
All right, our adventure takes place in the lands of Lickdrocht. They are lands of myth, of legend, and more, these are lands of fate and destiny. Our heroes are the Archivist, yes, and they have come to this town of Caer Dian, a ancient city founded on magical practice and discovery. It is primarily a series of colleges, sort of an Ivy League of old magical practices. And moreover, it is a city that has some form of magical defense against the form of true dragons. 7 bells ring out at the dawning of every morning, and the echo of their creative sound prevents the form of a true dragon within the walls of the city. This is a valuable secret in specific to the Archivists at this moment, because they are currently attempting to protect some newer allies, a revived dwarven king known as the Black King. And in doing so, they have run afoul of some dragons of the Draconopolis, not so far away. So here they are, seeking ancient knowledge and information, having had a few very interesting adventures, some with mind flayers, some with the twisting and bending of fate. And so they decided, what better way to get ancient secret knowledge than to ingratiate themselves in a heist, right? That's always super easy.
Yeah.
And nothing ever
Barely
goes wrong with
inconvenience.
barely an inconvenience. Nothing ever goes wrong with a heist ever. So our friends are working with Tom Tui, a halfling, I would say underground speakeasy runner, or not really speakeasy. It's not the alcohol that's illegal. It's everything else that they do there. So So, they have heard of Radovid, a criminal mastermind that is plotting a heist of the library, a not actual school library, a private social club that is just outside of the campus. And to do this, they know of 3 other heist members that they must remove from the equation and hopefully use their newfound reputations that they've cultivated over the past week or so to get themselves hired on to the job. Last week we saw them fight some Otyughs. I think they did 228 points of damage in a round and a half.
Like badasses.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. So there is that.
How many nat 20s was that?
That wasn't. It wasn't. It was
Not
just.
a single one.
No?
It was. It was mostly Matthew action surging, and just all of his arcane dice. He's like, that and sharpshooter. So I'm just gonna sharpshooter all day, every day, because you have to. Yeah.
Thank you to
So-
our Shadowrun contingent in the chat. Yeah, it's just a milk run.
Yes,
Like,
just a milk run.
It's just a milk run.
One last job before retirement. Right? So here's what we're actually we've been playing around. We love D&D. There's a little peel back of the curtain real quick. We love D&D, love all of its tropes and practices and all of these fun sort of things. However, heisting, not exactly D&D's. It's not built for it, right? We could do the whole thing in a linear timeline fashion, but last week we spent an entire session poisoning a demi-giant, basically.
And time
right?
well spent, honestly, I feel.
And it was time well spent. But at this rate, it would be January before we wrap up our time in Cardaean.
Okay.
Like
I like it here in
ostensibly.
Heistland. You know that. Low stakes Starcraft.
I know you do. I know you do. But if you guys have also watched the show for a length of time, you know that I have the best players in the world, specifically
Oh.
because on any given night they'll come to the table and be like, great, we're going to play D&D, but we're going to do something weird with the structure. We're not doing criticals anymore. We're rolling this, or we're not doing that. We're doing this.
We haven't
So what I-
played pure unfiltered D&D for like a year and a half here. And
That's
I'm
not
fine.
True.
Well, the card system for initiative has been
Oh,
in place for longer than that. So we've been
well,
part Deadlands
fine.
for 3 years, and I love it. That's not a complaint. That's a positive.
So, welcome to the experimental station.
D&D.
Exactly. Yeah, we're the black box theater of D&D streams.
Oh, I'm so happy right now that that's the example we went with. How are we doing Shakespeare? What are we doing to Midsummer? Tell me.
I've found my people. What can I say?
There you go.
Tom, we're never ever
Exactly.
letting you leave.
So what we're going to actually do, when last we left, you guys had about, I think, 4 or 5 days left to deal with. Now I need somebody that was here last week and the week before. Tom, I'm guessing that's you. I think you're stuck. I need the names of. I know Redovan. I know Emery. There's 2 more people you're trying to dispose of. Those
I'm
2 names.
so glad
I don't
that I
have.
went to grab my notes. So
Me
it's
too.
Elude, who is the face. And we're looking for, I think it's Rolbs Alar or Ralbs Alar.
Rob's alive. Yep.
When in doubt,
Is
call
the
him an
spellcaster.
Robespierre. That's what that sounds
Yep.
like.
Robespierre. Yeah, absolutely.
Any name I make up, if you just say with confidence and maybe a little flair, it will accept it. So that's all I do. Great. So Rob Zalar, our wizard, and Blade, Blaub, Bulb,
Oh, sorry. Hi, Elude.
Elude. Yes, great. Elude. Fantastic.
Blade, Bob, Blub, Allude.
No, I know that one. Phenomenoid. I know that one. So,
I will derail this entire stream to fight you about that.
And you'll
That was
lose.
that was basically a little bit of
Stalling.
Porky Pig trying to figure something out there. Allude.
Balloon. And that's how you accidentally invent and summon an elder god all in the same breath.
Exactly. Okay. Now Tom's doing great.
Oh my god.
Really appreciate him. So here we go. You guys have spent the past 3 days putting to bed these two heist obstacles.
Obstacle.
You've also created a scenario in which you have come to Emery's rescue. He is the drow point of contact for Radovan. As you guys come back, you're about 2 days from the actual heist. About a day and a half, right? So time is running short for you to meet Radovan. You follow the hidden arcane sigils throughout the town of Cerdian. You twist through the alleys and down the streets. You make your way into an underground sort of basement area where a door that has never been here before and yet somehow is tremendously familiar has a slide that swings open. By this point, you know the rotating phrase. You guys are practically regulars here in the underground. You make your way in to the establishment, and as you do, you see the middle-aged, or at least young at heart, halfling woman who is behind the bar with her extremely well animated flesh golem, pouring drinks and prepping service to a wide variety of tables. The activity here it's not slow by any means, but it's not busy this afternoon. You've come a little earlier in the day, and other than Rothflaw, the gnome who is almost here perpetually, and whose number of teeth sort of varies. You're realizing you're not sure if he grows them or regenerates them, or his dentures he just like sticks them in, but he's here, and he's a little bit of a welcome sight. Past few days have been busy for you guys, putting all of these particular dangers to bed. As you make your way in, you take up a corner of the bar, the five of you, on the far side, and Tutui will walk over and sort of, she takes Rothflaw's drink and kind of does the bartender slide like down the bar, and he almost puppy-like sort of and like slides down after it, opening up the seat for you guys. And as you sit down, she is going to look you over. All right then. You all look a little. She kind of gives each of you a quick up and down. What I would like you guys to do is, in this moment, you glance around the team, and I'd like each of you to. You're gonna pick one other member on the team, and there's something about their appearance that is out of the ordinary. They are disheveled. They are bruised, covered in mud. Maybe they look nicer. I don't know. Maybe they got fancy clothes on or something like that. But you are very clearly not in your this is the anime episode where the artist got to draw you in something other than the school uniform, right? So I know. So I would like each of you to take this opportunity and your character looks at somebody else and realizes kind of what Tui's looking at. And I'd like you to describe that to us. So who would like to go first? Actually, it doesn't matter. I'd like you all to roll a percentile, and whoever rolls the lowest sucks to suck. You get to go first.
Amazing. It's the best hazing ritual ever.
Oh, I think it's just going to be me.
Oh no, what did you do?
All right,
Is
Sirach, what'd you get?
I rolled a 13.
I got a 16 and I was so worried it was gonna be me, but that beats it.
So I hate to piss on your bonfire, but I got an 8.
Oh my god!
Wait, now, Tom, are you sure that you weren't rolling for divine intervention? Because I think you might have been rolling for divine intervention just then.
Yeah. I was rolling for the divine intervention. I would like no. I was just gonna spoil a massive part of my backstory, and I'm not gonna do that.
Oh man. Well, Narvi, it sounds like you are Tom at the very least. Narvi doesn't necessarily have to note it in character. But you are up first. So, as your dead fish eyes glance about the party, who do they settle on?
I think they settle on Clever Stitch, and purely because
I'm gonna need you to pick somebody who's here.
Purely because the fact that they've turned into a bird.
There it is. Okay. So. What I'd like to do also for Tom's benefit, because he hasn't played with everybody and doesn't know what we all look like.
Yeah.
I'd like so we'll do this for everybody. When you're picked, why don't you tell us what you normally look like, and then we can kind of highlight what is different. Okay. So Sirach.
Yes. Okay. So Sirach, normally, you would see an Aarakocra. You would normally see Aarakocra as tall, but this one is fairly squat, maybe 5 foot, a little bit taller, and he has a yellow head, yellow feathers on his head and on his neck that drape down from his neck down into gray feathering, which goes all across his wings on either side. But being the cockatiel generation that he kind of is, he also has the little feathers that come up on top into a little kind of faux hawk. Usually only happen when he's excited or if he is scared. And he'll come down and he's wearing a tunic and some baggy pants that protruding out the bottom. You see bird feet, claws, talons coming out the bottom, and just a normal traveler's cloak on top of that.
Okay. Can I firstly just say amazing? Secondly, I think I've probably met Sirach a couple of times during like downtime, like within the inn or without. I think currently the sort of feathers on specifically on your arms are looking slightly less preened than usual, slightly more kind of ruffled, not quite as glossy as usual, and I think that's what Navi sort of spots. I'm
gonna go ahead and take that a step further. Even if your arms would have normally been covered, at the very least, there's a distinct bald patch of feathers, Sirach, that you might be a little self-conscious about, but yeah, it's part of your arm. It's just you've molted, or whatever the bird phrase for that is.
Molting, I think, is correct.
It is molten.
Good. So Sirach, you sort of see the dead fish eyes of Narvi, and you look and you realize what he's looking at, and you kind of glance back around to the group. Who does your gaze fall upon?
Well, first things first, as I notice that he's staring at the obviously bald patch of feathers, I'm going to position my traveler's cloak just a little bit over the arm just to kind of hide it, self-conscious bird. And then I'm going to look at Fable.
Hi, hello. So Fable Frost, usually, and to her mind now, she is a tiny, small, little ice genasi. Her skin is very pale, very translucently white, almost to the point of being blue in the highlight and shade in places, as opposed to not one of those in the right lighting she doesn't look quite human, but in normal lighting you'd think, oh, she's just very pale, but the right shadow or light, that's blue. There's very heavy blue undertones. Is she dying? It's hypothermia. Small pointed elf ears, like a half elf, but not very prominent. She has short cut of white crystalline hair, like someone has taken snow and done this, and she's dressed in a skin tight fitting sort of circus costume, performer's costume that's just bedecked in glitter and sparkles and snow, and she is a Cullen. Yes, that's it. She's just a vampire. That's the secret. And she's bubbly and excited and often very bouncy with her step. If you've studied them, Laban movement shapes, she is a flit. Just all the time. That is where she lives, is in Flit.
People, my people.
Yep, hello. Both in voice and in action and movement, she's a Flit. And just going from place to place, excited to meet friends. And so she's usually fairly a lot on the ice. And you'll notice in the hands and everything. And if you've seen her fight, you'll know why. It's when she does fire magic. Though the fire is blue, it still melts the ice that she is made of a little bit, and then it refrosts over itself again. So her hands and her arms, where she does a lot of magic, are run through with like scars, essentially, of ice. It's darker blue. They've melted and frozen over again, and melted and frozen over again.
And the thing that Sirach will note is different is that those deep scarrings near the hands, while usually slightly luminescent, and it might have something to do with the latent magic of the area, or not latent, the intense magic of the area, but it seems like the flames underneath are almost producing even more light, and it's almost harder to it seems like it's almost harder to control or cover that light with ice.
You're not wrong.
So, Fable, your hands are beyond just emanating magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's nigh on a light spell on them. Like, they're glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And for all of your circus performing costuming, it's not great at hiding what is veins of blue light being cast out from them.
Also, sweet poison. babe, that ain't healthy. Use ice magic. She's a Phoenix Soul Sorcerer. It didn't come with the program. It's not in the build. I didn't think of this when I built her. But we're here now, and so she's committed. It's fine. The beacons have been lit. They're right here, and they're jazz hands. But is she looking and finding? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
She is going to, why did you make your ice person fire? We'll talk about it later when we unlock her trauma level. No one has done that yet. It's not there. There's a lot. It's fun. She is going to, she cannot stop looking at Talroth, to be quite honest, because, some weird that, whereas she wasn't there, and therefore she doesn't know that he died. She's while they've been camping, heard a couple of the people who were there mumbling in their sleep, and she's as though they were concerned for him. So she's watching him very closely, trying to figure out if she missed something, or if she's just tired or hasn't been on,
Fable.
Yep.
Talroth never died.
Exactly. That's my point. Caitlin is saying she doesn't know. He doesn't know. She doesn't know. Stop it.
I am clarifying.
I know.
The character of Fable
I know.
would not. There is no possibility.
I know that. That's what I was saying. I was saying she's watching him despite the fact that she has no idea any of this happened. She just feels like a couple of them have had extra concern for him lately. That was it.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. It's confusing, but that's
no. I was trying to clarify. I know that she doesn't know. I'm not trying to meta.
great.
Just watching closely and being like, Sarai's
Then
been really nice to him lately. Weird.
Then I need you to pick something more physically distinct.
I hadn't gotten to that yet. I was just explaining why I was watching him. I was trying to roleplay that of why I was watching him so closely.
Okay.
I need him
Go
to
ahead.
describe himself first.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, Talroth, normally standing at about like good 5'5", 5'6", decent for a wood elf, with a long kind of chestnut auburn colored hair. Normally keeps it in a kind of like a looser French braid. Only now there's a bit of a white streak that's kind of being braided through it, along with a few threads of actual gold that are being tied into it. And even his appearance seems to be a little more kept up. So especially with the glamour and armor, just trying to match a little better with how people in the city are dressed. And even right now, his hood would be down since they're in pleasant company.
All right. So what is distinct about that, Fable?
She's looking at his she's looking at his hair and just noticing that there's did he fall asleep in glitter? My hair is supposed to do that. Did something happen to did treasure what? And it's just a little like, is it just clean? Like, is that what it is? Did he just wash it a lot? Because it's him got big Herbal Essence commercial vibes. Like, not comfortable. Yes, thank you. It's that. It's catching the light. It's distracting. It's a lot. Everyone else is looking a little more disheveled and weird. And he looks weirdly like he has put more care into maintaining his hair in the last 24 hours than he had the entire time they've been traveling together combined. Just like it could bounce. Don't touch it.
Okay. Talroth.
Well, yeah, I probably would be fiddling with my hair a little bit, just not like trying to take the braid apart, but just kind of running my hand over like the gold pieces of rope that are in there now, just kind of braided in with it. And yeah, definitely kind of side-eyeing treasure a little bit, especially, well, I'll wait till the description's done.
So Treasure is normally a 6 foot, 300-pound golden beefling, like literally sparkle from head to toe. This wild bedhead raging hair. She's usually got a big old smile. And the best way to really describe her was her very first introduction when she walked in, slammed a bar door open and said, "Sup, chuckle fucks." Mm-hmm. She walks around in a scale mail bikini top, typically with just leather leggings, the scale mail kind of like protection on the sides, but nothing like super heavy. It's one of those, like, it's not really armor. Let's be completely honest. I don't care what the video game says. And she doesn't have any boots of any kind because she typically has hooves. She's also very loud and proud about just how she is normally.
And especially given some recent events that have transpired involving both Treasure, Talroth, and a few others. He's definitely noticed the new scar that's over one of her horns, but that's not what's getting his attention right now. Especially since Bloodburner came into the picture. Yeah, it seems that some of that shine and fire in her eyes and hair seems to be a little more real. It's a little concerning, a little warm too.
Okay. I'm gonna say that Treasure, the something over the past few days has caused the roots of your normally gold hair, and the you have essentially a black roots and ombre under dye of your normal golden blonde going on at the moment.
That's a look. Just the black too. I kind of like that. I just finished the picture.
Listen, it could be worse. We could lose an entire cast in the Wandering City and have to recast all of them and draw brand new.
Please don't.
It happened.
Please don't.
Tom looks at me like it hasn't happened on this channel before. It has.
That's their fault.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying.
So, Treasure, there's, I believe, just one key missing in this ring of weirdos. So, you're
Well-
checking out Narvi.
Yeah, Treasure's eyeing Narvi, just kind of thinking about it a second, but I'll let Narvi, of course, discuss his brilliant normal look.
Brilliant normal look. Yeah. As Treasure's eyes sort of glance over at Navi, she sees the not sitting, but standing, or should I say looming over the others in the party is a very tall, or what would be very tall if he wasn't quite as stooped as he is, half elf, incredibly pale skin, almost pallid looking skin with, if you look closely, almost very, very faint dark lines of veins kind of in his in the sort of hairless scalp, eyes that are constantly watching, but what they're seeing you're not entirely sure, as they don't really portray any kind of emotion. The clothing that he wears on his kind of almost feral predator poised body are very drab, very worn leathers, and any what would be any exposed skin on his body is kind of covered with bandage. The only real intrigue on his person is a small leather cord with two coins and a locket on it. I'm going with the Laban technique still. If he were Laban, he would fully be kind of what is it? Is it twist? No, it's not. It's
ring. It's
ring.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I got you.
It's that real sort of cross between sort of panther and hyena, kind of hackles raised predator like being with very kind of solid dead hands at his sides, hanging constantly, very much like Eraserhead from My Hero Academia, if anyone's watched that.
Yeah.
Kind of just very so that's him.
Points for the reference.
So as Tui looks over you all, she sees the balding bird, the glowing Genasi, the wood elf whose hair is, no matter what he does, it actually seems to be actively braiding itself.
I'm so glad I picked that.
The tiefling whose roots are undulating in blackness, sort of growing and shortening and ever so slowly growing just a little more. Now, what's different about Narvi? I realized I jumped in there.
Okay. Treasure looks at Narvi and she thinks that he took that looking like a million gold a little more than she thought he did. His coat just seems more spruced up. Maybe is that a new coat?
Did he
He's
grow
got
skin?
buttons now. He went and got buttons. So he just started to look more presentable. Okay, I know that going into the library, we had to look and smell like a million gold. He's really trying, points for effort.
It is in fact a new coat. It is a sheen golden fur coat. That Narvi is wearing. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, buttons
Absolutely.
are Treasure's definition of presentable. Did you hear her describe her tits? There are no buttons on Earth that could contain her. She doesn't wear them. Buttons are only for people whose bodies can be held together with buttons. That is not a kind of behavior. They're fancy. Look at the context. They're fancy. I'm not wrong.
So, Tui looks over the group. Right. So, how did it go?
Great.
Good. Oh, good. Did you I heard you made contact with Emery.
Right? Yes?
And you have.
Yep.
Were
you expecting this kind of reaction?
Well, I'll tell you. I've been hearing a lot of stories coming through the tavern about what you all did to Elude, and I have to be honest. I didn't. When you all came in, I knew you were, how shall I say, creative, but I really didn't expect you to take things quite that far. Maybe the stories are exaggerated, but do you mind sort of recounting it for me?
Well, of course, with any real story, you gotta remember. For legal reasons, they're all just stories, aren't they? Just rumors. Nothing serious.
She kind of smiles at at the idea. And she's and then she goes, "But really, what happened?"
It's all hypothetical, yes.
So here's the deal. You guys are going to recount to Tui these three interactions. You can be as vague or as detailed as you all want to be. Here are the rules. You have to explain why Talroth's hair is braiding itself, why Treasure's hair is slowly turning black, how Narvi got his fur coat, why Fable's hands are glowing from the inside out, and why Sirach is going bald, starting on his arm. Here's what is at stake. It can go as perfectly or as oddly as you want it to. It ends in success. We know that. Okay? The more entertaining you make it, the more creative you are. Every time I or the chat agree that this plays into both heist genre your particular brand of D&D chaos and sets something interesting up for the actual heist, you will earn a callback token. And so when we do the heist starting next week, you will have the ability to do the but wait, you think we're caught, but really
We set this up last.
we planned this the whole time, right?
I'm so happy.
So that is what is at stake. The worse things go now, the more entertaining that is, the more opportunities you have to earn those. Also, if you do create a legitimate problem for yourselves during the actual heist, that will, without vote or opinion, if I think it is a problem. So I guess there is an opinion, but if there's a real problem there, you get the token. If it's real big, you may get two, right? And this is sort of the form of our adventure this evening. Okay. So as Tui goes, I think this is going to be a long one. Hold on a second. And she goes to get, you see her go to get like a high stool for her little halfling legs. She's pouring herself a drink and getting herself like peanuts and pretzels, maybe a little popcorn, right? She's preparing to settle in. You guys have this brief moment when it's like you're about to tell a parent what happened over the weekend, and so this is your moment to go, wait, who's starting, what's going on? And I'm gonna put you in 4 minutes.
I hate when you do real timers.
I'll do a real timer. I'll give you 7. All right, 7 minutes. She's gonna come back and expect the story to begin. You guys can interrupt each other, take over the story, but we do want to be respectful of people as they are actually speaking.
Good.
Right. So 6 minutes on the clock. Go for it.
Amazing. So, are we telling her everything, by the way?
Oh, we
Because-
could probably tell her all the fun little juicy bits that would be somewhat important.
Yeah,
Maybe yeah, but I don't know about the embarrassing stuff. I mean, magic backfiring on us is that doesn't set a good example.
yeah, but again, your idea of what's important and our idea of what's important, I never actually like lined up, have they?
Well, it depends on the situation, really. I mean, alcohol's important, but yeah, it wasn't as important to try to take the keg this time around.
Yeah, but you know what? It's
Well,
fine.
Fable, you're the best storyteller. I think you should start.
Good God.
We should probably.
Fuck. No, I don't disagree in character, but out of character, Caitlin's going, shit! I just came back into this!
Oh,
Which,
of course, that was just an in-character suggestion.
no, and that's agreed.
Although Treasure does kind of scoop up Sirach and pets him, and she's like, I think we might want to leave out the part about Sirach's arm, though. That was embarrassing.
No, but it's gonna come up because it was my fault. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You know, And she just looks at her hand and
I know, it wasn't you. Don't worry, it's all okay.
Tom to turn the voice for the first time!
But I think we really need to get a hold of like where are we starting? Are we just going chronologically, or are we going person by person on how we did this?
Well, since we had the one loose end from the first one to tie up during the second one, I feel like chronologically is going to be a lot easier to deal with, so we don't have to explain how he ended up there.
Probably best. Yeah, chronologically seems like a good way.
Yep, I thought so.
Time is a good way of tracking things. Yes.
Narvi, you look fabulous, by the way.
Oh, oy. Okay, so just remind me who we're dealing with. Just double check the 3. It's what they
The
do.
face?
The face.
Allude?
Their face. Allude.
Yep, Elude the Face, Robzalar, the spellcaster, and then Emery, who we were sent to help uh, mock help kind of thing. We were helping out of a situation that we had caused, essentially.
Yeah, that's just double checking. I didn't want to tell the wrong story. I've put a call to please put that in the cast chat so I don't lose track. Because that's a lot of words. Thank you. Fine. Okay, well then. I mean, if we're going chronologically, it's a bit of a tricky question, isn't it, given the clock room in the spellcaster's house? He should go first. We should go first with him.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's start there.
Okay.
You got this.
The
I
Black
believe in
Box
you.
Theater of D&D! This is punishment for the audio thing earlier. I'm in trouble. It wasn't my fault! It was Zoom's
You
fault!
got this, Fable. I believe in you.
Oh, please. Okay.
So,
we gotta say our
so we're
bard
starting
isn't here,
with
but we have no bard anymore.
Rob Zala, the spellcaster.
Yep.
And how we got him out of the heist.
Yeah.
And on to Elude, the face, and how we got him out of the heist.
Mm-hmm.
And then Emery and how we helped him
Yep.
of the problem we solved. Now, I clearly know what problem we started that we needed to help him with,
Yep.
but maybe someone else isn't as clear on what the issue was that we created for Emery.
Well, Sirach, it started with our Mordekainen's helpful pigeon, remember?
God, the pigeon! The pigeon? This is the pigeon?
Listen. Better the pigeon than you, because when we start bird chasing, we need to make sure that we have it's not you.
I'm sorry, this all comes back to Mordenkainen's faithful pigeon. That's what's happening right now. God, I love this.
The place you're trying to rob is the place you started the helpful pigeon rumor.
Yep.
Amazing.
Of course.
Well,
She's gathering her popcorn. She's got it on the chair. It's apparently a big, heavy chair, so she's doing the little halfling push. 60 seconds
good.
left.
While she's doing
Tal-
that. Yo, Tal.
Talrod's gonna reach into his pack for a second, pull out a couple crumpled up scrolls, and just kind of drop them in front of Sirach. Oh, you mean those scrolls of, and we need to talk about your spelling because it's Mordenkainen, not Mord and Kainen. Because yeah, that was kind of an obvious forgery. It's like, do you know how embarrassing that was talking to that spellcaster with fake scrolls?
Listen, if I'd had more time, I would have.
I mean, the scrolls were fake regardless of the spelling. You're also telling me that it's not a duo wizard group of Mord and Kainen?
Death and vampires. That's what it's.
Pride
sounds
and
like it-
Prejudice and Zombies?
I would watch that. I would read that. I would watch that play. I would listen to that ballad, that opera. I would read that book.
I'm not into
What
zombie
book?
stories.
What book would you read? She
Oh.
pops up.
Fuck.
All right, I've got my peanuts. Sorry, whenever Fable talks, she becomes northern. I'm gonna say I don't know if it's Irish or Scottish, but they're
I'm
from the
sorry.
north.
I'm so sorry.
Lots of planets have a north.
Lots of planets have a north.
So, tokens you can earn according to everything I just heard. If we explain backfiring magic, a stolen keg, and how the person ended up where, don't know. Tauroth's hair, Treasure's hair, Fable's hands, Narvi's coat, Sirach's balding. There needs to be a clock room involved. Rob Zalar, where he ended, how you got rid of them. Elude, how you got rid of them. What you did to Emery and how you got him out of Emery. So that's 2 potentially. Explanation of the helpful pigeon, something with fake scrolls, and the tale of Mord and Kainen.
Good God.
I would like.
Would you take a photo of those notes and put it in our cast chat, please, so we can start checking some stuff off?
Sure,
Thank you.
sure. I will do that because this has just become
Oh no.
my favorite like microcosm of what DMing people that want to talk about their backstory is. This is my favorite
Never
moment
mind.
that I think I'm playing.
Oh,
I'm not.
okay.
This is teasing, but this is very funny for me. I love this so much. I am enjoying it. So, Tui gets up in her chair, plops down, and gets her popcorn out. All right. So, that was pretty crazy what I've been hearing about. I'll go ahead and help you guys out about Rob Zolar. What really happened to him?
The heist music, the Ocean's 11 music starts playing, and camera
Well.
cut zooms. Fable. Everyone looks at Fable as the caster who's taking over. Yes, Sirach.
Louis, I'm just gonna say you might not want to sit so far back in your chair, because by the end of this, you're only gonna need the edge.
Oh, good. Thank you for the extra level of pressure. I really appreciate it immensely. I love you for it. So she let's see how many of these I can check off the list in one story. Let's fucking go. Challenge new game. Who can get the most? I'm going first. I have an edge. So what you have to understand is, speaking of backstories, did you know I grew up in the circus? Big propensity for colorful entrances and exits, and whereas with the muscle we tried a more subtle approach. In the end, we realized, me and Grizz, that a large distraction was sometimes more important than we thought it was going to be. To that end, people with names like Rob Zolar, that's not his real name. His name is Robert. By the way, he changed it. It sounds better and stageier and fancier to call himself Rob Zolar. His name is Robert Anson. Did you know that? Just a better stage name. Anyway, so I took that to mind and to heart of someone of the name flashy like that, someone who has those kinds of gambling debts and likes to show off and feel like a big shot, might be interested in having, for instance, a young magical hopeful becoming his protege. So I did go and introduce myself and offered up my services, or my interest. Stroked his ego a bit, tried to act like I wanted to be his protege, his finest student, carry on the Rob Zolar magical name forever, and also peppering in the idea that my parents are really wealthy, and once he was done with my training, they'd pay enough of amount to wet his whistle and sort of get those gambling debt monkeys off his back. You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds brilliant. I always suspected Rob Solar was a fake name.
Robert Anson. Don't call him that unless you really want to piss him off, but it's from what I gathered from what Sirach and Teleroth gathered while they were rifling through his desk there. It's one of the names he used in previous towns, and it's still running from some of that debt, so maybe we don't spread it around unless we really need to keep him out of the loop. If he ever gets out of the loop. You get that later. Anyway, creative, you mentioned. In any case, he was all too eager. Little creepily eager, actually. I think it'd been a long time since a pretty little thing like me paid that much attention to him.
Ooh.
Yeah, you'd see the type of women he'd have accompanying him to the tables and trying to, buy dates around town and impress the women and impress the men and impress everyone. And I pretended to be very easily impressed. But see, that's sort of where things went south on my end.
Oh yeah?
The idea was I would take lessons from him and give us a chance to make noise and because unless he's at the casino, he's at home these days, and
Right.
That's where all of his things are. And you don't break into a magician's house without him home, because you break in with him home and he's not distracted, he's going to blow your head off. You break in without him, he's probably warded his house, and none of us had the time to figure out what kind of counterspells we'd need to use to get in. So we went the other way, and while I was there practicing loud spells on purpose, the others were kind of investigating the house. Took a couple of days coming back and forth, and
A couple of days. So then you did both
Nope.
allure.
Took a couple of hours. Sorry. Thank you. I forgot that we are on a timeline for that. Yep. Just a couple hours of letting him teach me things before we
Oh.
let them break in.
Whose idea was it to leave you alone with a dangerous spellcaster who wanted to teach you things?
Mine actually.
Oh, it was yours. Okay. Very brave of you.
Well, that remains.
We all tried to talk her out of it. We thought it might be too dangerous, but she's very
Really?
stubborn
What'd
and
you
strong-headed.
What did you say when you were talking her out of it?
Well, I mean, clearly, when she said originally, when she went, I've got to go and I've got to take care of this, I've got to distract him with my spells and my magic, and we all,
Is that what they're called? Spells and magic.
spells and magic, both of them simultaneously confusing him.
Sirach
quite-
misses the double entendre, but we're gonna keep going.
Fable rolls her eyes so hard.
I thought it was far too dangerous, and I said, Fable, you cannot go alone.
And as I
It
told
is-
you, again, growing up in the circus, you think I haven't had my fair share of keeping handsy performers and patrons off me. Plenty of times, trust me. I'm very good at it.
Wait, that's what that meant?
Oh my god.
Oh, no, he wasn't even dancing. He doesn't know.
In any case, so, you precious, precious bean. I love Sir.
So you were casting loud spells to distract
I
him.
was,
Like what?
well, I let him cast some interesting things. I let him cast some, it was really a lot of thaumaturgy, honestly. I'm just trying to
A lot
sound-
of thaumaturgy.
sound fancy.
I didn't realize he was a religious man.
He has scrolls for that.
Oh,
You can cast it if you know it, if you've got it written down.
with a scroll, yeah, I suppose so.
Exactly.
Thaumaturgy tends to be the domain of clerics, but sure.
And tieflings, but I think you can actually learn it. Like lore bards actually can learn anything.
I mean, yeah,
secret,
if you
so-
wanna,
He could
put
have a
your-
level in bard. We don't fucking know. Like, I don't have his stat sheet. I don't know what he is.
I know. I'm
Okay,
teasing you.
okay.
You're okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
There is no wrong answer here, but I'm allowed to complicate.
Okay, but
this.
you're saying it in that DM way that makes me feel like there is a wrong answer and like I'm saying it.
I tried to sneak in, but the thunderclap of my ass cheek.
Listen.
That's a good spell. Thunderclap. There you go.
There, sure. Yeah. He didn't seem to mind us breaking things. It was like he was renting the place, and so it didn't really. They weren't his stuff.
So you're casting spells. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, not exactly the most subtle thing that's ever walked this side of Caradine.
Hence the loud spells.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, there was the thunderclap and thaumaturgy and all sorts. Must have been a godly drum circle, if anything.
And thankfully, tieflings know a little bit of thaumaturgy themselves. So any noise that we made, I just made it seem like it was just more of that to help get us in the back way.
Impressive. The back way. Was it guarded or trapped of any way?
Well, that's a Talroth question, all things considered, because honestly, I'm not very good at finding those.
Back
Talroth,
entrances.
was it-
Talroth is good
was
at
it-
finding back entrances.
And the traps involved with them.
And the guards involved with them.
Well, if you can call those things traps, I mean,
In this day and age, really, it's a tough.
the guards that he had weren't so much the trouble. I mean, you throw him a bottle of whiskey down the alley, that was easy. But
A little
the
bit
door,
of passing
bottle-
out of trays.
The bottle didn't break. You threw the bottle of whiskey down the alley and it didn't break.
I'm not gonna throw a real bottle of whiskey. I mean, it's like,
So you threw a fake bottle of whiskey and they chased after it when it broke.
well, you see about that. So I know a little bit of a very little minor bit of magic with wind. So
Uh-huh.
it just seemed like the bottle just got caught by something, sailed off further, and hey, landed in a nice pile far enough away where they got distracted.
All right.
But
All
that damn
right.
door, that door,
Oh, the
I
door.
swear to whatever gods you believe in, if I find the locksmith who made that door, I am going to nut check him repeatedly.
Ah.
What was so difficult about the door?
Oh. Okay,
Do you know how many fake latches he put in there?
How many?
And the riddle. Don't forget
the
about
riddle.
the riddle.
So, Rock, what was the riddle? Do you tell me what the riddle was?
Well,
brought this
I
on
wish
yourself?
I wish I could have, but unfortunately, I didn't understand the riddle because it was in Infernal, and so it was Treasure who actually had to tell us about the riddle.
And I've been telling you, Sirach, I know how to speak backwards and backwards Celestial now. I was able to read it, but no, don't trust me.
Well,
There was no riddle. I was just messing with them. It basically said, "Come on it."
oh,
We spent 3 hours there.
You could have been in there for. Oh, I ran through. I could have gotten away without this, without your fucking sense of humor. Really?
I'm sorry.
The whole
Well, it
time.
was-
The whole time.
Well, it was pretty funny, I gotta admit.
Oh, great. Yeah. When my great inner demon comes out and eats all of us for how long I've been fucking taken and decides to take over the rest of it this time, that's gonna be fucking hilarious to you, is it?
you're an inner demon made your hands glow. Made your hands
Yeah.
glow.
Yeah, hold on. What?
Yeah, you haven't really talked to anyone about this yet, because there was the fire and there was the weird time loop thing and there was a lot of other things going on and it didn't seem that important to mention. But quite frankly, it's not ideal. Everything that's going on. And we've all got bigger problems once the rest of this is done. So just maybe don't waste your time when we're in the middle of important heist things, alright? Just oh gods, I sound like the parent of the group. When did this happen? Where are Sir Aiden Thosin? I need mom and dad here because I'm not comfortable being the voice of reason here. It makes me very uncomfortable. And I've already I'd never seen one before. I didn't know it was called a phoenix. Why didn't anyone tell me it was called a phoenix? She just bursts into tears.
So we got in the house.
Good call. Perfect.
All right. So you're in the house. She's engaging with her inner demon, and all right. Now, my question is, where does the time loop come in?
Now see, that's the question you gotta ask yourself. See, the problem was we started going through all of his desk drawers in his office to try to find the piece of incriminating evidence to keep him from actually joining. And I think
Gambling
it was
debts, yeah.
gambling debts.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Talroth who was going by the bookcase, and there was a book there, and he pulled the spine of the book, and then the shelf, by some form of telekinesis or magical floating, levitated to the side, and we found a room of clocks.
Ooh, a room of clocks.
And so, of course, we had to go in.
Well, of course, I would have gone in. It was a room of clocks. You see a room of clocks, you go into a room of clocks.
What about a room of shelves?
You don't go into a room of shelves.
A room of tables.
You wait.
You wait.
But see, what happened was we weren't aware that this was going to start a time loop. Because as the four of us went into this room, we were immediately transported outside of the house. And we were like, oh no, he's going to know exactly what went on. But then in the distance, we saw us staring at the back door and the guards.
Oh. So, you're staring at the back door and the guards. And Treasure... No, I'm sorry,
No.
but
Our past selves
Your
are
past
staring
selves.
at the door and the guards. We are staring at our past selves. And then it answers all of your previous questions because Talroth throws the bottle of rum.
Uh-huh.
And immediately as that happens, we all
Fake
thought
rum.
it was going to, well, that's what you think, but it was real rum because
Oh.
we all thought the bottle was going to break. And
Right.
that is when Talroth realized he had to catch the bottle that he threw.
Uh-huh. And he did.
And he did. And
Good.
it made a clanky clank on the ground, which
So the
threw the
guards-
guards over.
So the guards go over.
That's when we took care of the guards, because we
So-
all thought in the house, our past selves, why
Yeah.
aren't the guards coming back?
Ah,
But it's because we took care of the guards in the future, in the past.
that makes perfect sense. This all makes perfect sense to me. So you catch the bottle. They chase down the bottle. The team outside takes out the guards, while the team inside, their past selves, goes into the inside, searches through, pulls the book of spine book. Anyway, goes into the clock room, comes out to take care of the guards. Now, what happens after you take care of the guards?
Well, this is where things started getting just a hair on the weird side because
This was all very, very followable and easy so far.
Super normal
What happens
up until
next?
now, right? She's wiping the tear, or rather, the tears are evaporating away, like she's warmer than usual.
Okay.
So they are. She's.
Tower, while your tears
Yeah, yeah.
are evaporating away. Tauroth.
well, like I told everybody before, just kind of looking around at everyone. No offense to none of y'all, but we know you can't see me sneaking around. So, going off that, I snuck in with our past selves to kind of start figuring out, okay, I know they're going to check over there. Let me check over here. Managed to find the gambling stuff, got that taken care of before past me pulled that spine on the book.
Okay.
Now, I almost got caught by past me, but yeah, kind of chasing our own tail a little bit, so to speak, just kind of
Ah,
going around something. Then I think it was past me, bumped into Treasure, and then I had to go to the other side of Treasure, but then I bumped into Sirach. So even I get a headache thinking about it.
that sounds very ring around the rosy.
Oh, you have no idea.
it
But
was
then
a lot.
that's why I.
S- Go ahead. That's why.
I mean, I'm wondering if I hadn't if I'd hit a different Sirach before we managed to end the time loop or at least contain it. If maybe that wouldn't have happened with the. I'm sorry again. I'm sorry.
All right. I'm not sure I follow with that, but let me keep going here. So, your past selves go into the clock room to become your present selves. Tauroth, you've gone in there. You've found what you're looking for. I'm assuming now Treasure, Narvi, and Sirach make their way in where Tauroth is and where they used to be.
Yep.
Right.
So then our past selves ended up becoming our future selves. So now we were technically the present, and
It is a gift.
Oh, boy.
yeah. But we got the gambling debt stuff,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just gonna kind of glance over to Sirach and a couple other interesting little objects.
Oh. Sirach, what did you grab? Sirach, why
There
have
we
you
go.
cast? There you go.
There we go. What you gotta understand is wizards, throughout their studies, have small things that you wouldn't think are important, but those are sometimes the most important things.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of a magical object called an onyx dog?
Onyx dog. I, in fact, have, I believe.
Yeah. That would have been great if we had found an onyx dog.
Mm.
But
But
what
you
I
didn't.
found, no, I found something far more treasurable,
Oh.
far more insane than I ever thought possible.
Mhm.
Onyx dogs, playthings. For have you ever heard of a jade giraffe?
I haven't. I haven't heard of the jade giraffe.
Same principle,
Okay.
infinitely more rare.
Oh, yes, sounds it.
I'm gonna say literally none of this happened in the timeline that Tauroth took us away from. None of it. It was just an easy smash and grab job and we walked away clean, and then the cards, and this timeline exists!
But that wasn't it. I found a whole menagerie.
A whole
I found-
menagerie.
I found a topaz elephant.
Uh-huh.
I found a peridot crocodile.
Okay.
Most importantly, I found a ruby flamingo. You'd think they'd get something pink like a rose quartz or something, but no, it was ruby.
Ruby flamingo. That is amazing. Now, is that why Fable tried to light you on fire?
No,
Oh,
he was just collateral damage. It was an accident. They were getting.
all right.
Again.
So,
Yeah.
So Sirach is stealing the menagerie, and I'm guessing Robert Anson discovers him.
No, we were just trying to buy time.
Oh no!
I was
Oh.
just trying to buy any kind of time until one of them came and, did a secret knock that we discussed earlier. No, we have sending stones. Till one of them called on the sending stone that it was
Mm-hmm.
time to go, and I was keeping it close and you can feel, you could sort of, I kept it sort of bundled so I could hear it. But again, loud spells, hoping that he'd just think it was a voice of some kind.
Okay.
And I got kind of distracted because we started doing fire spells,
Oh.
and I hadn't really done any with anyone in a minute, and I definitely hadn't done any with anyone when I was stressed like this. Usually I was worried for people, but Robert started to get a little bit again, not handsy. Was asking instead for more money. Was asking instead, trying to I was already offered him so much, but it was like he was already thinking of all he could do if he could teach me the world, that maybe my parents would be grateful, and he started getting very aggressive about it. And I hadn't done fire magic trying to protect myself since I left home. And that's when everything exploded.
See, the thing was, we, now with the gambling debts, went up to the practice room to confront him with the gambling debts, to get him to drop out of the heist, you see?
The call was only if we couldn't find anything and they needed to get me out. The coming to confront him must have meant they found everything they needed.
And I happened to be first through the door.
Bad timing,
Ah.
sorry.
Oh, so that's why your arm is featherless.
Yeah, the arm is featherless, and I don't know. It must be the magics around this place. It's doing something to my feathers, all told, everywhere.
Sorry.
That I understand that is so awful. So you confronted him with the gambling debts, which he needs to pay off, and you want him to not do the heist, but the heist is how he gets the money to pay off the gambling debts. So
We
What did
promised
the
him
gam-
we would call all the other debtors in the other towns, like I
Ah.
mentioned, Robert Anson.
uh-huh.
Doesn't know a lot of people know that here. That heist is not going to even close to cover the debt.
Uh-huh.
Promised to help get him out of town, find a new name, or he could start over.
And did he accept?
He might have, had he not accidentally gotten caught in his own time loop while we were trying to get away from the explosion.
Oh, he got time. Well, there was another explosion.
Or just sort of a delay. He had some potions on his desk, and when other things started to catch fire and I couldn't put myself out fast enough, and we tried to get me out of the room and calm down, there was like a second wave.
Second wave.
You ever have fire hit alchemist's fire? Like a bottle of alchemist's fire? Bad.
Obviously, I'm a bartender, so this happens all the time. But
sure.
why don't you explain to me what it looked like?
Well, luckily as a magician, he's fairly contained. You would have expected the glass to break and the windows to burst, but he's got wherever he's rented or bought or whatever he is warded, nothing on the outside, it was just inside. As a matter of fact, when we were running away from the house, there was no proof that anything inside had gone wrong at all. Possibly the windows a little blackened, but that could easily be curtains. But that's it. It was... Honestly, my question is this. A man who's got that many magical artifacts, like a room of clocks that could catch you in a loop and the kind of walls that could block fire from burning your house down, what is he doing gambling away and begging money off heists? Seems to me he could have just sold all these things. Gotten it anyway, but...
That's a very good question. I'm hoping you have the answer for me. Because you were inside the house and I was not.
I mean, I'm assuming he enjoys the chase and he is looking for the thrill. But, or perhaps he doesn't own all those things after all, and like I said, he's renting. In which case, someone's gonna be pissed.
Taroth, when you were searching through all of his things and you found the gambling debts, did you find evidence of him renting or who he was renting it from?
Somebody with that much gambling debt, do you honestly think he'd be able to afford even renting a shack? Nah, he was squatting. That wasn't his place.
I didn't even think about that. Of course he was. Fuck. Oh, fuck.
So whose was it?
Well, I didn't stick around long enough to find out, because as soon as after Sirach had picked up the whole stuff with the menagerie and went upstairs to go get Fable, I mean, he took Treasure with him because, well, I mean, look at the big old beefling. Say, if that Rob, honestly forgetting his name at this point, if he even tried anything with Treasure there, yeah, she was going to whoop his ass halfway to Sunday. But I figured, let me see what's around here. And, yeah, I didn't catch the name. It sounded very weird. I don't know if this guy had some kind of dragon fetish or whatnot, but it's like I started trying to read something and it kind of sounded like Lara Chandela or something like that. So yeah, I just decided, nope, I ain't dealing with this. I dealt with that jackass once before. Nope, and I left.
Okay. All right. So now Taroth has left. And Narvi, where are you at this point? Because Treasure and Sirach are confronting Rob with Fable and the gambling debts. And Rob is about to be caught in a time loop, and Sirach's getting his arm set ablaze at the moment. Where are you during all of this?
Well, Sirach was getting trinkets, so I thought I would join him.
Right.
I couldn't find any animals, but I did find a keg with, well, it looked like sand in it.
Okay.
We took that with us.
Must have been a heavy keg, but you're a very strong man.
Sort of look at her and kind of go, yeah. Took that with us. I thought maybe if Rabs was resisting, I could pop him in it. Well, it turns out we didn't need to, so we took it with us.
Right.
But then it was on to Elude.
Well, now hold on. Before we move on to Elude, Treasure, Sirach, you confront Robs. He agrees. And how did he get stuck in the time loop? That's what I'm curious about.
Well, this actually started because he was trying to pack everything into the bags to try to get out as quickly as possible, as you can imagine.
Yes, he's leaving. He's stealing everything he can because he was squatting. All right. Yes. Okay.
And in stealing, I guess he didn't realize which spells were what.
Okay.
Or active at present.
Pretty much. Also potions. I don't consider myself a really well-known alchemist or spellcaster. I've grown up around a lot of them. And I know enough that if you mix two potions that aren't supposed to be together along with a couple scrolls, and then you start popping wild magic.
Right. Is that what happened to your hair? You mixed potions together and it started to wear off.
Well, you remember that initial explosion that hit Sirach and the second explosion that came after it that left the windows black?
Right. Second explosion.
The second explosion, I tried to block with myself over. So basically just turned myself over Sirach and Fable.
Very heroic of you.
And thankfully it didn't burn me because I'm a little more resistant to that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And my hair, though, decided it was going to turn funny colors. I don't recommend dyeing your hair with alchemist fire, especially when you kind of are semi a conduit for wild magic. It doesn't work well. You end up
Okay.
with this, which, I mean, it's fabulous, but still.
Sure, of course.
Well,
of
I
course.
don't even know if it was quite the alchemist fire as much as it was the alchemist fire and the combination of it's that potion paint sort of thing that's meant to dye hair and dye, but like it's like a permanent one. It's very fancy and expensive. I wonder if he was dyeing his hair, now that I think about it, to blend in here and be someone else. Whatever it was, effective combination. It's a good look on you at least.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean, I like it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, all that mixture of stuff did end up causing a second time loop that thankfully we were able to grab Sirach and Fable out of. And by then, Narvi and Talroth were out of the building, so they didn't get caught in it. But I'm pretty sure everything inside that building is now caught in some weird semi-explosion-y time loop. We're not going to touch that.
Like I said, if he ever gets out, I'm sure he would be willing to keep on with the offer. But right now, I think he's stuck.
He sounds very, as far as I've heard, yes, he is very, very stuck.
Yeah. And also the lingering effects of the. She just looks at Talroth's hair. It's like, listen. It could be the other thing, but also he could have a little bit of lingering time going on with that.
Well,
You
yeah.
did keep going in and
For me, it wasn't so much the time loop that kind of got me.
It's
And I'm just
more
going
of
to-
a time flat or a time twist.
I'm just again going to look down at the scrolls and then just glare over at Sirach. So I'm sure you've come across fake scrolls at some point in your time.
I used to do a bit of forgery business. Sure.
Yeah. Now, in making fake scrolls, you wouldn't use like the real stuff to try to make it right. I mean, you might use a dab of it just to have a little bit of the essence in there, but not enough to actually, cast a spell.
I mean, it all depends on who you're making it for, but yeah, that makes sense. So did this happen with Allure? Because we're done with Rob's.
we hope.
Oh, part of this does go into alludes because
Nice.
the
All right.
scroll, one of the scrolls itself, I'm seeing Mordenkainen's faithful something. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, wait a second. I've done some research on this. I've heard of Mordenkainen's faithful hound. Awesome. Yeah, I should have read a little further. And then
Okay.
I also should have noticed it was Mord and Kainen, not Mordenkainen.
And where did you get the scrolls?
Well, they were kind of with some of the gambling debts that Rob had.
Ah,
Mhm.
all right. So you grabbed the fake scrolls,
In my defense, I thought they were real.
and you thought they were real, of course, because they were good forgeries. That's good. Okay.
No, because
right.
they were forgeries and you have a problem. You can't even cast those. Why? It's fine. Just a lot
There's
going
a little
on.
bit. There's a little bit of magic, I think. Yeah.
Listen, the Merry Pranksters don't get to use magic for a while. They took 3 hours doing something that should have taken 3 minutes.
Right. So
Narvi's on my side here.
Yeah.
See?
I'm just sorry I can't read
Oh my
Infernal. Might have taken us a little bit less time. But yeah, after that we got to thinking about where Elude could be.
mhm.
She's not really, or they're not really the kind of people that I tend to spend time with. So we went back and spoke to Saraid and thought about where Elude might be, and
Where did you
well-
find her?
it's hard to describe. It's kind of like this place, only with men pretending to be women and doing a show.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, lots of feathers.
Lots
Sorry,
of
Serac.
feathers.
Lots of flamboyant dresses and lots of I think they were singing, but
Right.
sometimes their mouths were moving in a different direction to what the actual singing was meant to be.
Yes. Yeah. I think I've heard of this, but all right. All right. So you go to this establishment, and the show is going on. And that's where you found the lure.
Well, I mean, it was actually
Elude.
Talroth that found Elude
Ah.
to start off with.
Yeah, that was truth be told, that was a bit more by chance than by skill.
You mean you hadn't been there before? You didn't know the layout of the land?
I've had a few things that I've been working on recently, and I mean, I did pop in there once or twice before, but
It's a nice place, no judgment, I liked it.
What was the name of this place?
It's called... Go. I'm gonna let Tom pick the name.
It's poo rolls.
Right. Yeah. Poo
Do you
rolls.
mean pearls? Do you perhaps mean if we're not gonna commit to that? Is that what you meant, Narvi? Or are you settling on
Was
pearls?
it?
Was it, I think, pearls?
Is that how you is that how you pronounce it?
Pronounced pearls.
Oh. Well, I've got to go and make an apology after this.
No, you
All
don't.
right.
You're perfect.
So you guys
So-
are you're at Pearls. Tauroth is going to find a lure. So Tauroth, how did you find a lure?
accidentally muted myself instead of being unmuted. Sorry. Well, like I said, the last couple times I was in there was mostly just kind of scouting things out, looking for somebody that wasn't a lure. But this time around, just going off of what everyone else told me about his description.
Her.
Literally, next thing I know,
There.
heading up to the bar,
There.
get myself a drink. Oh, sorry, her.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
So yeah, just going off of her description, walked up to the bar, get myself a drink. Next thing I know, somebody just turns around, bumps right into me, spills some drink on me. I don't even know what it was. It smelled a lot like strawberries and kiwis and just, I don't know. It was definitely a little too fruity for my taste. Something Treasure would have liked though, because she definitely made some comments about it. But next thing I know, there she was. Well, allure, I meant. Like she was just,
Allure,
she-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
She spilled the drink on me.
She spilled the drink on you, right? And Treasure got a taste. She liked it. What? So was she mad, or were they mad that they bumped into you, or spilled their drink, or what happened next?
Well, definitely seemed like she might have had a couple already in her. So
Uh-huh.
it was just an accident. I mean, I'm not gonna get mad at somebody for just accidentally spilling shit on me.
Of course.
But hey, once I got the recognition from Treasure, this is who we're looking for. Well, the two of us kind of played up the charm a little bit. I mean, definitely more Treasure than me.
Mhm,
And we
mhm.
managed to kind of get her to go to a table, just kind of sit down, have a couple drinks, and
Mhm.
just start chatting her up a little bit. I mean, well, Treasure did most of the chatting. I was trying to get the smell out of my armor.
Well, Treasure, what did you all chat about?
Well, first of all, his armor still smells great. Just saying. Second of all,
I'm telling you, I'm going to get it cleaned later.
Don't you dare. Strawberry Daiquiri works on you.
I never thought I would look like anybody. I mean, I'm pretty distinct looking, but apparently there's a performer there that looks an awful lot like me.
Really?
Yeah, except the gold's not natural. I mean, they just
Well,
play on like extra glitter, but they're another tiefling, apparently male, but they
I need
kind
art
of do this
drag
look.
queen.
And then, you know, the Allure apparently thought I was this particular drag queen and started asking me for tips. And I didn't know what to say. I barely wear makeup. This is just how I look.
Okay. So, but did you? I mean, they were apparently drunk, so I guess you could have told them anything. But it went well.
It went well enough. I mean, I was making things up as I went. I don't know. Pig's fat in the hair. Yeah, that'll get it to just stick up and get this volume. And oh, you brush your teeth with coffee grinds. Yeah. It's in any case, I was suddenly the distraction, which I was not expecting to be, at least not in this way.
Right, of course. So
and then things went from bad to worse.
Oh, but yeah. So they Sirach, I'm afraid to ask, was that you or?
It was. So what happened was, the plan to get Allure out of here was to make her believe she had a contract for a much better gig.
Mm.
Feels mean because she's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, incredibly nice person, but we had a timetable and we had to stick to it. It was really the only way we could think to get her out of here.
Of course.
Yeah, and so I had taken back one of the scrolls that I had given to one of the ones that Talroth hadn't tried to use and backfired on him. Right. And I had taken that scroll and I had done a forgery of a letter of intent for a show at the brand new establishment, the Mord and Canaan.
Oh.
At least that's what was going to be the plan.
Entirely. The moment I stepped in there, I mean, Narvi said, to his credit, when we walked in, there were a lot of feathers.
Yep.
And I walked in, and I'll be damned if they didn't think that I was one of the performers.
It's all right. It's all right. I know it's... She starts just stroking him. I know it was very confusing and overwhelming even now to think about. It was a lot of overstimulation there.
So I understand now the story that the rumors I've been hearing. It all makes perfect sense to me. Well, actually, not all of it. About 3/5 of it makes sense. Because I heard that you all did a show at Pearls.
We didn't do a show. We redefined the genre.
You redefined the genre. So I get how Treasure and Sirach, and no offense, Fable, but you're pretty glittery to begin with. I get how the three of you ended up on stage at Pearls, but who convinced Narvi to? Who dressed up Narvi?
Look, I met a very, very nice person. They were called Shona. Shona Testicle. They took me backstage, and well, I think they just felt bad about the clothes that I was in. And we were rifling through their wardrobe, and they found me a few bits and pieces.
And they let you keep the jacket, apparently.
Well, he did work it so well. How could they not?
It's called fish voguing. It's the new thing.
Just let your hands go limp while you move everything else, and it just throw some prestidigitation on there, and you're done.
And well, I can kind of, and Narvi, as he's talking, sort of starts to sort of sprout long hair, like voluptuous hair, and kind of eyeshadow starts to come out, and like big old lips start to come out, and he goes, I can kind of do things with me. So it was They said I was a natural.
Oh, you were.
Absolutely.
Because Cody requested Claire's talking about the backstory. If I haven't mentioned it 5 minutes, I grew up in the circus, and you could make a living, nay, a killing. You could have your own tent. Where did that even come from, Narvi? I don't.
They gave me a name.
Oh, you're.
No, I'm not.
Do it. Say it. Say it, you coward.
If you don't, someone else has
We'll
to.
make something worse. You gotta.
Areola Franklin. I'm not sure about it currently. I don't know whether it's don't know whether it's okay.
Listen, the reviews will tell us. There's, and I believe if you've heard the stories about a show, I am sure you didn't recognize all of them as the names, but if Narvi's persona had a name in the papers,
I'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, I didn't recognize any names until you just said that, but that is quite the moment. So one of you is Areola Franklin. The other is Allure.
After presenting with the contract for Mordenkainen's, Allure, who had a bit to drink, mistook me for a magical pigeon. And that is actually how they all started calling me the stage name, because I came from Mordenkainen in my story to offer this contract. She just started calling me Mordenkainen's faithful pigeon.
Okay. That name didn't make it into the paper. It was something shorter.
just Pidge.
Pidge. Great. Pidge it is. Here, took too long. We're going with Pidge.
Sorry.
You better work, Pidge.
Sorry.
Pidge, please.
Yep, there you go. You're
Oh
welcome.
my god, Glamour Toad Sirach, I love it.
Uh-huh.
Just pulling off the whole Ginger Minge aesthetic. All right, let's do this.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
You're welcome.
So we've got two names. Two more of you need names.
Hold on.
Well, Treasure was mistaken
Was
for
mistaken for someone specific.
right. So
Yeah,
Fable.
can you remember the name? I daren't.
Yeah,
think of it.
Treasure.
Sorry, the space bar was sticking. I was mistaken for somebody named Ruby Gems.
Ruby Gems. All right.
I don't have any red on me, but apparently she usually rocks red dresses.
Oh.
That is,
They
that is
they
fair.
printed it as Rubbin Gems, but that's
I'll take it, I mean.
yeah. So all right. And last but not least, Fable.
Yes, they just because I glittered under the stage lights just everything was
Mhm.
a lot of sparkle everywhere I went. I was like one of those mirror globes you hang up on the but they called me Lavish Light, and I did a lot
Okay.
of trapezery and aerial stuff up at the top, and there's just
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that.
So you all meet Elude. You trade beauty secrets. Sirach arrives. You guys get confused, dragged into the show. All of this is Tauroth. What are you doing when the show is happening? This is perfect Tauroth time for you to Tauroth about.
Well, definitely. I mean, I was so just off in the back, just trying to wash off whatever drink it was that she spilled.
Right.
I mean,
right.
And next thing I know, I'm seeing Sirach doing some weird acrobatics on stage. I didn't know what he could do before. I mean, that was just wow.
I have heard the review says while the layman may not recognize it as well, to the layman, it may not be terribly impressive. It was apparently quite the erotic Eric Cochran mating dance.
I saw him do it once when he was talking to Olaroon, and that was
Right? Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, I just kind of kept chatting to Allure a little bit, just kind of trying to get a feel for what her thoughts were on the whole, well, loose lips sink ships, see what her whole thoughts were on the heist, about this contract that Sirach had brought up. Now, there was one thing that I didn't know about when I was talking to her.
Sure.
I didn't know she was a bard.
Oh.
Pretty decent one too.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember what I said before about some scrolls that if they're done with enough of that magic ink?
Yeah.
And how we found it in that in Rob's place, or where he was squatting, and then all that wild magic started going off.
All of it. Yes. Yes.
You want to take a guess what happened when a pretty decent bard tried to read off of a scroll that was written over with a contract with magic ink?
I have no idea, and I'm hoping you'll tell me in great detail after we get back from this break.
Will do.
How about I find our break?
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'm going to run 1 minute, and then that'll give Caitlin the chance to get the normal break going.
We're good.
Well, I'm doing the ad anyway.
Soon. Yeah.
And welcome back. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have...
Caitlin playing Fable Frost, the Ace Genasi Phoenix Soul Sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Kez, and I'm playing Treasure, the Tiefling Barbarian.
Eric.
Hi, I'm Sirach, and I'm playing Eric the other way around. I'm Eric, and I'm playing Sirach, the Arakakra Horizon Walker Ranger.
Nope, you are seen. You are just a bird in a human suit.
Well, I'm Mars. I'm playing Talroth Oakenblade, the Wood Elf Scout.
Hello, I am the token Brit Tom, and I am playing.
What's a Brit Tom?
Brit Tom, and I am playing Navi, the half elf rune knight.
Tonight, I believe, is the first night we heard those words about him. It was just, I'm playing Narvi. Full stop. Awkward full stop.
I'm just sort of letting you all add the air quotes.
No, again, I was just gonna put question marks. It was that party member we haven't uncovered their information yet. It just. Yep.
All right. So you guys are in the middle of recounting the recent adventures that you had to eat. And so I believe, Talroth, you were about to enter a great explanation and or terrible event. So let's hear it. Pick us back up where we left off.
Well, just to kind of re-preface the situation. So I'm still sitting at a table talking to Allure. We got a couple drinks between us. There's the contract that Sirach had brought up that he had borrowed my forgery kit before, and I honestly didn't question why. I was trying to make sure that everyone else was okay. But I didn't know that he was taking the forgery kit to rewrite over one of the fake scrolls that we got, using some of the inks that we happened to take with it. Now, as I'm trying to get Allure to sign this contract just to kind of get her away from the heist and just the timing of it and all, and also not realizing she was a bit of a bard. So, all right, she's got some magic on her. She kept getting a little distracted when she was signing things and started getting a little handsy as well. The big problem started showing up when Treasure happened to be on stage, turned over to look, and saw that Allure was kind of messing with my hair a little bit. Now, Treasure's been awfully protective lately. And, well, her and I have been around each other long enough where I could just kind of sense when the rage is picking up. So I knew something was bound to happen.
And what did happen?
I wasn't jealous, and you can't prove anything. It's not my fault that her face happened to be in the way when I swung around that pole of my hoof.
But what about that damn little powder monkey you summoned up that latched itself onto my face?
That was my
Wild
favorite
magic?
part of the night, honestly. I had a great view from up there.
Wild magic, it gets a little weird. My wild magic happens to get weird in the shape of powder monkeys and hoofs to faces. Hoofs to bitches' faces, specifically.
Since when is hoof to bitch face a wild magic surge thing? I didn't hear about that in school. The powder monkey.
Very
that you
specific
guarded.
spell.
Oh, don't be on her side for this.
Listen,
I'm listening.
Now,
You
Treasure,
made me tell my story first. You're gonna suffer.
well, Treasure, I mean, I ain't blaming you for anything. And that powder monkey of yours, I need to have words with him later because he started scaring the ever-living shit out of Steve.
well, that was unfortunate, but okay. So maybe
You know how shy Steve is. I only just started talking to him recently when I realized the damn little bastard was kind of sentient.
Is this? He leans over to Sirach. I know you're not the one to be asking about double entendres, but I may have missed something. Is Steve what he calls his downstairs monster?
No, I don't think so. If I'm not mistaken, he refers to that as something slightly different.
Pass without a trace?
No, the flute of House O'Rain.
Sorry. Carry on. Narvi looks so upset.
Is that his dick?
That's what we were asking. Oh. I adore you, Narvi. I'll protect you with my life. Okay.
okay.
Is it?
So yeah, she was getting handsy, and I may have summoned powder monkeys. The rage does things. I may have decided to hit her in the face accidentally with a hoof as I spun around the pole. And next thing you know, she was really reading that scroll incorrectly. Like, she was already reading it not right in the first place, but I'm guessing a concussion doesn't add to magic very well. And she had her fingers all in his hair. And next thing I knew, I tried to get my fingers in her hair
For different
you know,
reasons.
for different reasons. More like I may have wanted to try to scalp her, only to realize that scalping equipment was not within the premises. But I calmed down. I had a drink. I calmed down.
So,
But like I said, for legal reasons, these are just stories, not anything that could be pressed against us in a court of law about assault or anything like that. Just stories.
So do I want to know where Allure is?
Or who the fuck Steve is.
Well, Allure is actually in one piece. Granted, she might be a couple funny colors right now. Because you see, that scroll of Mord and Kanan's Faithful Pigeon,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it did actually work. It did
Oh.
summon something.
All right.
Yeah. Summoned a few dozen big old parrots. Not pigeons. Big
A
old
parrot.
colorful parrots. Parrots the size of Rottweiler dogs.
Those are very big dogs. Those are very big pigeons.
Oh,
Parrots.
Those are dogs we have here, apparently.
So, what did the pigeon dogs do?
yeah. Well, they came out. They were screaming. They were squawking. Sirach started talking to them. I don't know what he was telling them, because at this point, I was just trying to duck under the table, try to get the powder monkey and Steve to stop fighting in my hair.
Mm.
Who the fuck is Steve? I'm going to kill you!
Yeah,
It's
but who is Steve?
Hang on a second. So just going to take a moment and just kind of say a few words and summon a very tiny little air elemental.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, do you remember when I started figuring out that I could actually do some bit of magic?
No, because you
Uh,
never did it in front of me, you fuck.
Well, I was trying to help you with Screebers, but you were more concerned about Screebers. So I just figured, okay, I'll just show you later. And later just never happened.
Right, blame Screebers for that. That'll go over well. Who the fuck
Well,
is... and how did... And she looks at Sirach. Just back. How did you get him here?
He just kind of followed me. I mean, once we left that big old town where we found Cafe, which I still need to ask a couple questions, but that's a side
we need
thing.
to leave her in the bottle for a while.
But anyways, it's kind of after that where started noticing the wind was following me up a little bit, and yeah, just kind of sat during a watch one night, just kind of sat around and just kind of focused on and talked to it, and then this little bastard showed up. Needless to say, he's been helpful, but he's been a little skittish. I just kind of glance over at Treasure.
Right.
So back to the giant parrots.
Right.
Not friends of yours. They did not like you, and I'm sorry. And she points at that bit back there. That'll grow back at least.
Yeah, I mean, like most people think, I'm a bird, they're a bird, that we can all speak the same type of language, but unfortunately, they don't speak languages, so I had to try to intimidate them.
The dance you were doing was one of amorous intent, if the article is to be believed.
Among Arakocras,
article-
but not...
Well,
The article is to be believed, but, sometimes you can put a different spin on something, and...
so it had begun as the Aarakocran amorous
Mating
dance,
ritual.
mating
Yes,
ritual,
yes.
right? And then when the bird dogs arrived, were summoned, you adjusted it.
Exactly, to try to intimidate and put
course.
fear into them.
Did it work?
Well, I'm not very intimidating, and so it just looked like a continuation of the mating ritual.
Oh,
It's very hard to tell
Alright.
the difference. Also, in the picture
Yes.
currently up on the overlay, you're very intimidating. That was very good timing on the slideshow because it is Sirach currently in his Angry Bird, and I'm very happy with that.
So the bird dogs are there. Sirach is being hounded.
God
The
damn it.
Powder Monkey and Steve are fighting through Tauroth's hair as Treasure is taking a walkabout to get a drink. Fable is in the rafters. Narvi, what are you doing at this point? Over Fable, were you not in the silks
I was in the
up?
silks. The rafters implies I was hidden. I was being monumentally talented in a way I have not gotten to do in a very long time. So I think it's very important that everyone acknowledges that. I did
Monumentally
twists and
talented
turns-
from a safe distance
There.
is what I'm attempting to piece together.
That's fine. Yes.
Okay.
But monumentally talented.
So Narvi, what happened? Where were you? What were you doing?
Well, at this point, I bought the keg into the place backstage, and one of the girls said you can't have that in here, for inspection reasons or whatever. I said, well, why not? And she said, well, that's it's not exactly the most legal of substances. So I said, all right, fair enough. I rolled it outside, and it gave me a bit of an idea for the future escapade, but less so for now. And I rolled it back out and kind of waited for the others to do their thing with Elude, really. As I started, bagging up this sand.
So you decided to take the illegal sand out of the keg and break it up into smaller bags.
More manageable,
Some of it,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It made sense to me.
of course. Right. No, of course, of course. So, back inside.
We're just drug muling now, aren't we, Narvi? That's Narvi and Fable are going to accidentally start selling cocaine.
Listen, it's either cocaine
Gunpowder.
or gunpowder.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm happy.
What's gonna be fun is if we sell it as the wrong thing to the wrong person. Snort gunpowder, bitch! Cody's writing it down!
So,
No! Thank you, Cody, for being on top of. When you don't have to run OBS and you don't have to, and you just get to listen to us be chaos. Cody is running the Out of Context Disasters chat tonight, and he's owning it.
yeah, man. If I'm not in charge of making up the story, I get to sit in the back and
Tristan?
make jokes.
Tristan, you didn't come
So.
in at a weird time. This night started at a weird time. You've actually come in at the most normal time this evening has seen so far, my dude.
Yeah,
Trust
man.
me. You.
So,
That's what I got.
yeah, absolutely. So, back inside. What ended up happening to Allure after she got kicked in the head and with the elementals fighting around her?
You see, that's the funniest part.
Oh,
For everything we tried to actually get her to go away using this fake scroll and this fake contract, somebody thought all those parrots showing up was part of her act. As it
Oh.
turned out, there actually was a talent scout in the audience that was originally there trying to get queens and stuff for a performance, but
Mhm.
instead, seeing Allure summon all these birds caused Talroth's hair to go wild. And basically everything else that happened was attributed to her act. The talent scout was absolutely amazed.
Mm. And so this talent scout made her an offer, and
It was an offer, honestly, that she would have been real dumb. And yeah, granted, she had a concussion and everything else, but she
Right,
would have been
right.
real dumb to refuse even that offer. It was one
Wow.
of those high-end hoity-toity weddings that you
Oh.
just got to hit up, and
Yeah.
you're gonna get paid a ridiculous amount of gold because of course it's one of those celebrity, like, I don't know, I think her name is Corky B or something. One of those celebrities having a wedding
I hate
and just
all of
wants
us.
special performers.
Mm,
I hate
Mhm.
all of us so much.
mhm.
I. That's all.
And with all that, I mean, if I was a performer, I would have taken it, but I'm not. I'm terrible at this. So
So she gets booked for this wedding.
and it just so happens we look out for everything else we'd done wrong. The wedding happens to be halfway across the continent at around the same time as the heist. So she basically has to leave today.
Wow. Wow. That's very lucky.
Yeah, considering we were doing great.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Was especially lucky when she decided just to tear up that contract that she had just signed.
oh, that is good. That is, yeah, that all seems,
We have very
That all
different
seems-
definitions of good.
well,
Well,
you wanted her under a contract?
I think we all have very different definitions of luck at this point.
Yeah, because that contract she signed that was written over the fake scroll that she had accidentally partially started casting.
Mm-hmm.
Then she tore that up, and with all the wild magic going on, thanks to a certain golden brick house here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of point to my hair. For some reason, this hasn't stopped since,
Oh. Oh.
and I'm pretty sure I'm smelling a little bit of burning coming from in there. So I don't know if the powder monkey left a present.
Oh. That sounds awful.
Yeah, I've watched it 5 times. It won't stop.
Wow. So where was the gig that Allure was supposed to go to? Where did she end up?
Oh,
Small
want to say
island off of the coast of what's that desert place that you come from? Can't hear you.
Jalen.
Yeah, that was like an island a couple days sail from Jalen, I believe. Rented out the whole island.
Oh,
Celebrity.
right. Yes, I heard that the Duskwoods were looking for exotic entertainment for a upcoming event.
I didn't do that on purpose. Then again,
What?
Mars mentioned La Rochelle, and that's going to be a problem later. We all have to acknowledge it. So, you know, I don't feel so bad.
Hey, it's not a problem for me. I don't know who this person is.
Yeah, but you're going to have to be here when we deal with it.
So that lucks out. You get Allure off the continent. She's on her way to a event outside of Jalen, hosted by the Dustwoods. Fantastic. Now, I have to say, I did not expect those two to be quite so much trouble, but I'm really. This is the part that makes me wonder. Are you all sure you want to go through with this heist? I mean, because for all the trouble that Allure was, and all the magical shenanigans that that Robert Anson had, the stuff I've heard about what happened with Emery. I'm not squeamish. I was raised in the Bay Area, but how did it get so out of hand?
Just looks at Narvi. She said squeamish, and my brain went there. Just looks.
Look, ultimately, I didn't quite foresee how much damage Otyugs can do when they're weaponized.
Mm-hmm. So you all had taken the time to capture Otyugs to assault Emery. And everyone thought this was a good, like, everybody heard the plan and was like,
No, the plan was originally, offer them as a gift or a threat, not actually let them out.
oh,
And then that went sort of wrong.
as a gift?
Listen, we poisoned someone with one. Clearly, what they have to offer is useful.
Well, I mean, yes, but it is still quite bold to be like, your friend has been poisoned,
By this,
and here by this.
we may have
Look,
also
I
offered
just-
an antidote that could only be made with the Otyug blood that is a lie. But something like a other shot.
Look, I just thought, we dealt with them so well last time.
Yes, we did.
That we could potentially set something up whereby they attack him and we defend him. I didn't quite realize how much they would enjoy the sand from the keg.
God.
So it was a bit more. It was a bit more than I was really expecting. And to be fair, I'm glad that Navi looks down at Fable's hands and kind of goes and looks up at her again and goes, I'm quite glad that you did what you did.
Well, it was easier to come by after the first one, and now I'm just worried about it stopping.
So what was it? What the Otyugs are hyped up on arcane dust, and
It's arcane dust. Fuck.
Navi makes a mental note.
Oh no. They are, and there are with than we planned.
Right.
And well, in the house, I had with Robert, I had a bit of an incident with something that appears to live inside me. In a way, I think it's where I get my fire magic from. And it sort of got out and didn't feel quite right. And I knew it's trying to get me to do more. It's trying to tell me something. And I feel it more when I do big fire magic. And I felt it trying to come out again. So I had to get everyone else out of the room. Because when I'm really close to being in trouble, I kind of explode a little bit.
So you all released the Otyughs in a room.
The area. The
Oh,
hole.
okay.
It was a great hole.
It was a great. Oh, okay.
It's
No.
still a room,
Okay. A
it's
whole.
not like a-
Yeah. No. Sure. Sure.
Still a
Yeah.
room.
So that
This
makes.
is technically a room.
Yeah. Well, no, it is. Yeah. I mean, this is very clearly a room. Floor, ceiling, walls,
exactly.
doors. Yeah. Very room-like.
Yep. But not. So you know what happens when Otyughs who are hyped up on arcane dust get caught in a massive ball of phoenix-driven fire energy that is uncontrollable because the person who did it is about passed out dead. Everywhere, everywhere. They got in everything. I think I swallowed part of a lot of them. I don't know that I'll ever be clean again. Or 2 days in a row doing something that big and that angry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's like the fire doesn't want, like it wants me to do it again to every monster that has ever, and hands just start sparking, that has ever tried to take anything away from us. Ever.
I think as Fable says that, Navi kind of pops his hands like on top of hers and just kind of like pats it down a little bit, and says, so that was a thing that happened. And sort of looks back and goes, we might talk about that.
So after the Otyughs explode in fiery rage, how did Emre take it?
Well, once we clean the goo off of him.
Right.
About as well as to be expected when you're covered in,
And swallowing and choking on.
yeah. But he was aware that we had helped him to escape with his life. I was handling. I was with Fable more than anything else at that time, but I know that Serac and Treasure were with Emery trying to keep him safe.
And what did he say? Serac?
Sorry, I was trying to get space bars. So obviously he was unawares that we were the ones who had set loose the Otyughs in the area.
That's good, because otherwise the whole thing would have been ruined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got confused earlier. The multiple fire blows to the head have fucked with me a little bit, and I'm a little distracted. Apologies.
Of course.
But after Fable, went critical mass and took care of most of the Otyughs,
Right.
he was right next to Treasure and I, and we had to calm him down, and we told him how we were able to save him and how we were able to take care of him, which obviously he had seen in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, what'd you do to calm him down? What did it finally take?
Not many people know this, especially by her size and intimidating nature, but Treasure is a real big softie. And all it really took was just a big bear hug from Treasure. That's what finally
Oh.
calmed him down. Remember that, Treasure?
I mean, honestly, I think it was being nearly suffocated in scale mail slathered boobs with Otiuk blood in them. But I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
I'm sorry, Ian. It's canon that she awkwardly held him and patted him and sang "Soft Kitty," like that's,
Basically.
that just in tits, like the tree in The Last Unicorn, who like just smothers the small wizard.
Can I say, completely out of context, I had Sydney watch The Last Unicorn for the first time a little bit ago, and that tree, like the entire time she was giving me crap about the animation and everything, but the moment that tree comes up, she looks at me and she's like, "The hell am I watching?"
Bring her. I will fight her after this is done. It's a perfect film, Sydney. She's no longer invited to my wedding. Both of you. No, Eric can come. You liked it. Sydney's no longer invited. It's perfect.
So Emery calms down. I'm assuming he thanks you.
Yeah. Again, when he, could actually get air.
Yeah, well, of course. That is important.
Although you probably protected him from the bulk of the explosion anyway with the tracks of fireproof land.
Essentially, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky to still have hair between all the explosions I've gone through this weekend.
Listen, it's free waxing.
You're not wrong.
I was gonna say that's not where I thought that sentence would end. And then
I did it.
It did. It ended exactly where I thought it would end.
Because you know me, and our brains go the same places sometimes.
Well, I have to say I'm surprised at how you all got there.
So are we.
But it does seem as though at the very least Emery was impressed. I do know Radovan is scrambling for new associates.
And I must say, we sort of a couple of times put on very good shows of our talent and skill, like blowing up all the Otyugs. They need a caster. There's got stories. They need a face. We've got tits. They're soothing apparently. Yep. Like we've got options. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, you absolutely do have options. I've been spreading my own positive messages about you all, and so I am going to reach out through a third-party contact, make sure that Radovan knows that you and your team are the best option that he has available. And we've got Fable filling the role of the caster, Treasure, I believe, taking over for OBS in the muscle department, and
I believe
Sarai
is going to face.
Right, and Sarai will take the face position, and then once you all have heard the plan, I think we will be able to meet back up and see what other two members are best suited for
The heist.
the heist. Exactly.
And then
Treasure
we're just
gets
gonna
really
run Honey Heist next week, right? We're just gonna be bears.
Well,
Treasure gets really excited. She leans over to Fable. She's like, "Oh my god, I just realized we're like Charlemagne's angels here."
Oh my god. Shut down the whole stream. We're done. We're ending. We're finished with this whole goddamn show. I am. Everything else I was fine with. I got through every goddamn thing else tonight. For some reason, Charlemagne's angels is what broke me. So, I have to leave.
I because we still have some time tonight, what I would like to do is introduce you all to Redovan and give you the basic outline of the heist,
Yes.
so that you guys have the week to plan who else to bring with you.
Mm-hmm.
You have earned a fair few number of tokens.
I feel like we got all of those things.
Pretty
Tenuously.
Yeah,
tenuous. You did.
tenuously, yes. It's been
yeah.
a stretch in some places, but we got them.
So here's my question: is it better, given the format that we have worked out, is it better for you guys to know the heist plan ahead of time, or to discover it as you are going?
I like the format of discover it as we're going, honestly. Knowing the types of people that we need is one thing. If we knew the
Okay.
heist plan in advance, we could just try to sabotage it beforehand.
Yeah.
Like, we could try
Okay.
to do other stuff without,
It's very Blades in the Dark. I like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
Big-
is
big
that
fan
Burn
of-
Notice episode with the we only know a step at a time
Right.
mentality. I think, yeah.
So,
I think it's more fun. But, like, meeting the rest of the crew or figuring out
Sure.
where the roles need filled.
yeah. As you guys clean yourselves up, pat yourselves on the back, enjoy a bit of a night well done, you see Emery make their way into the bar. After passing a few words with Tui, the bartender slides over a couple of notes and informs you that the entirety of the group, because of their help and bravery for saving Emery, have your tab has been covered for the evening. And however, written on the this is the receipts, the tab notes, whatever that may be, for Treasure, for Fable, as you two have met Emery as a package. You guys are planning on going in there knowing each other. Saride is also at this meeting, although it is we are going to portray it as though she does not know you all. She is a third party, right? To keep.
Sarah, was it? Was it pronounced Sarah?
And then Megan lights flames
Flames on the side of my face.
side of
Yeah.
her face. That's how Fable died. All right. Right, so I I'm finding my drow accent here. Come with me. It's a little bit piratey, it's a little bit Irish. It's funny how those always go just a wee bit in the same direction, doesn't it?
You just picked
So-
all the things I love to hear you do. Just go.
No. I've been speaking with Radovan, and he has been most impressed with you all. So, I've arranged a meeting. It's not going to be. Bixby, nobody wants to talk to you. Shut up. It's not going to be something that is necessarily face to face, but he's a good friend to have. So, if I could encourage you all to do anything, just keep your wits about you. He takes you on a walk, and in the last 200 feet, I'm sorry, ladies, it's usually not something that I would ask, but I do need you all to put these on. And they are black hoods and eye covers. And he waits, sits by waiting. The rest of you, Talroth, Sirach, Narvi, as skilled trackers as you are, you have no problem so far following behind them.
I would like to try to roll a check of some kind to see if I can still feel or like memorize the directions, like an or something like memorize. We turned
Sure.
left, we turned right, we turned whatever.
Sure. So here's what I would like. We're all, because we get to roll dice at least once. I need survival checks from everybody.
Okay.
For Fable and Treasure, they are at disadvantage. As you are purposefully attempted to
Which sucks
be.
because I crit on the first one. Nat 20'd on that first one. Fuck. Okay. 16.
It's a 13 from Navi.
That's a 27 from Talroth.
That's a 25 from Sirach.
Nice.
And that's a 3 from Treasure.
Okay. So it is Talroth and Sirach. He has a +8, and I rolled an 11, so 19 for Emery. You guys are able to follow him. There are actually a number of very tricky sort of false walls about the city that cut through alleys and dead buildings, but you're able to keep pace even with the magics like Pass Without a Trace. It's not so much leaving tracks as being able to anticipate where they're going. And Talroth and Sirach perform a in tandem wonderful job of one always being behind, one always being in front, and leapfrogging each other as needed in order to follow. Unfortunately, when they make it to the final building, it looks like it's a very dense brick building, stone mortared. Looks like it's about 3 stories and almost the entirety of a block. There are no windows, and there's I will go ahead and let you guys know with your passive perceptions between Sirach and Talroth. You beat the only doors that seem to be here are illusory. It is only through the magical wall pass spells that people enter and exit this particular building. For those of you that are outside, I'd like you to make perception hearing checks at disadvantage, because that's unless you have a way to see through walls, that's kind of the only perceiving you can do.
I'm assuming I got sort of lost somewhere down the.
No, they take you.
Oh, yeah?
They catch you up. Yeah.
Cool,
You're part
nice.
of the team. You're not out on your own.
I apologize. Who is inside and who is outside?
So the girls are going inside. Everybody that was following, so Sirach and Talroth, you guys were outside, along with
10-4.
Narvi, but you made it to the building, right?
Cool. So disadvantage perception.
Please.
That was a 12 from Navi.
Okay. Talroth, you are under the silence spell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're muted.
muted.
I couldn't hear you. I was trying to be clever.
Panic it is. No, I got you. The
No,
meerkat panic was hilarious. That he what? Like,
No, the meerkat panic was going to be for the next wizard I came across because you put a rogue under the silence spell.
no, it's like keep me here. I'm fine. Like
So yeah, say 16 perception.
16. Okay.
And 12 from me.
Okay. You guys are gonna get some of this. I'm gonna have you roll percentages in a little bit to see if you pick up. Actually, go ahead and roll them now. The three of you roll me a percentage. You're not gonna hear everything, but the higher the percentage, the better luck that you hear something important.
I got a 1.
Harvey, you
oh, buddy.
That's the first time that's ever happened to me. That is
Wow.
incredible. Ever.
Okay.
A 1.
You have been blessed. Truly.
Dalroth.
89.
Okay.
36.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sorry, did you say 89? Oh, percentage. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought in my head we were rolling what d20s for a second. I'm like, that's your first natural one ever? Oh, you mean on a percent? I'm
On a percentile.
done.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So, ladies, you are brought into a relatively large chamber. There are some plush chairs. The bags are removed from your heads and the blindfolds from your eyes. You take a moment to adjust to the low lamplight and flickering fires in the area. You are left there for a few minutes. Then Saride is brought in with Emery. And he looks about the team. Very different team, but I'm pretty sure we're going to prove ourselves most impressive to our wonderful patron. If you give me just a moment, patch him in. He steps behind a brazier whose low fire is glinting along glass beads, casting myriad of lights across the entire area. And as he sits there, you begin to hear a gentle thrum. And out of the burst, sort of a low eruption of like fireworks begins to spray up and across the air out of the brazier. And you see the shoulders and Palpatine-esque hood of what must be Ridvan.
Good music shift, yes.
What? Emery. Who are these people? This is not the team we had prepared. Right. I know. But as I told you, OBS is out of commission. And the past 2 days, Rob Zolar has trapped himself in some dragon's den. Allure whisked away. By who? I'd rather not say by who. Aye. Duskwoods, potentially. Do we think it is retributive? No, more bad luck. I don't believe in luck Emre, I'm well aware of Zalar. That's why having such potentially perfect replacements is more the fears of Providence, or since we're out here in the freelance, perhaps fate. Emre, you're too smart for your own good. I've been told that my whole life. It doesn't make it any less true. Still, you do know me very well. Then who do we have? Right. So, this here is... What names did you give Emre? Did you give them your actual names? Okay. Treasure, what name did you give Emre?
I gave them Glitterhoof.
And Fable?
Serena.
And we will insert Saride's name here later. And you've seen them do the job. I've seen them do quite a bit. I trust them to do this portion. Good. Good. Well then. I am Redovan. If you've heard of me, then you already know what that name means. If you haven't, rest assured, west of the mountains, the underworld quakes at the mention. I operate from here to Dragonopolis, to the Isles of the Forbidden Kingdom. If you betray me, there is nowhere in the free lands you can go I cannot reach. There is no ally you have I cannot buy. There is no hell you can hide in that I cannot improve upon. However, if you are as talented as Emre assures, wealth, riches, and power are yours. A simple job, but an important one. You there? He turns to Saride, only not saying her name because Cody doesn't have it at the moment. I've set you up as a trial membership within the library. You and Emre will enter, posing as prospective donors. The tour will be set. Once you reach the vaults, that is when Emre will begin his purpose. from elsewhere. You there, Glitter, Serene, and my personal contact will be entering in the back way. You can cast high-level magics reliably, or do you require a bit of alchemical support, Serene?
I can do without, but it's a lot more fun with, isn't it?
Your fun is not my concern. Serene will perform her part. And then Glitterhoof, you're up. The entirety should take 22 minutes from the time Emery and the Charmer enter the library to the time we are all back on the street. I suggest you all settle in and get some rest. You see lights in the corners of the room begin to slowly glow. 1, 2, then 2 behind you. And then above each of those lights, 1 in each of the 4 corners, 2 more light up. The glow begins to spread. They look like golems, constructs of some kind. Perhaps sentinels. You'll all be staying here until it's showtime tomorrow. At which point, Emery will lead the Charmer, and I, or my stand-in, will lead the rest of you through the back ways. Are there any questions? Then enjoy your evening. I have some insurance to get. He looks towards Fable, seemingly referencing her requirement for arcane dust. Emery, are we sure? They've tried. Locked up tight. Nothing in, nothing out. I'd rather not be in. Understood. Well then. It'll be costly, but it'll be worth it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Make sure you have your game faces on. And with that, the visage disappears.
It's just us in the room, the 3, or there's other strangers?
Emery and the Sentinels remain.
Cool. Are we meant to stay in this room or in the house, the area, the surrounding anything?
This house,
Okay.
essentially. it's a warehouse basically.
Fable, as quickly as possible, is going to kind of find a corner
Mm-hmm.
and activating the sending stone. She doesn't know thieves can't,
Mm-hmm.
but hoping they have the other one. She's going to talk to Treasure in a very casual, while it's open. Well, shame no one in or out tonight. I could have really used a good lay from one of the whores down the way. There's this one man who knows exactly what I do, but you know what? Everyone's staying away for the night might be best. Nice, quiet, peaceful, alone time is before a big job, you know? Trying to essentially warn them, do not try to follow us in here. If you get caught, we're all fucked.
Yep.
And so she's gonna talk about how nice it'll be to be alone tonight and how relaxing it'll be to be quiet and private until morning, you know? And then just to see if she can make any of them blush, talk about all the dirty things this whore used to do to her.
The sending stones technically are only 25 words, but we play very loose with that. I'm saying it does not afford the entirety of
No,
the
and then she
blow
would
by
suck on
blow,
the
as it
stuff.
were.
It just cuts
But
off.
but you do get the message and the warning out.
Mhm.
And so that is where I am prepared to end the evening. If you all have anything else you would like to do tonight, you are welcome to.
Yes, I would like to know what this GIF is that you just posted. What film is this?
I have no idea. I just
It
found it
looks
in
really
gifts
fucking
under heist. It does look very cool. So yeah.
I guess I think I know the answer to this. I rolled a 1 on a percentile dice. But
Yeah.
I'm dreadfully curious about this hooded figure. Would I have been able to hear even the slightest inkling of like intonation that might be familiar to Navi's ears, or would it be not enough to hear any?
I will say it's not enough, Narvi, for you to be able to make any sort of judgment call on
Good
it.
to know. Good to know.
Just realized it says words on the things in the GIF.
Does it?
Always bet on dead.
Oh, it might be that's
Dave
Dave
Bautista.
Batista.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
that's
Thank you.
that one. There you
Thank
go. That's a very cool poster, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Very cool.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna say good night. Thank you guys for a really wonderful night, for a really fun and entertaining night. Thank you for taking the reins and doing awesome stuff with it all night long. I appreciate the small break and still being able to play, which is an absolute joy. So we're gonna say goodnight. I might be back. I think I'm back tomorrow with some A to Z, and then we are
I think
out
tomorrow
Wednesday.
you have Borderlands, I believe.
Well, we might have Borderlands. Either one.
So
We'll do one
that
or the other.
Wednesday, but we've got a couple of days in which to do all that, and keep going.
Yep.
Sorry, you can do both.
And then
actually.
Blood on the Bayou on Thursday,
Yeah.
and we're gonna try to have some
Hortensia Chaos.
adventures in Oltensia this weekend, on hopefully at least one of the nights. So
Yes.
thank you guys for hanging out with us. We are gonna see you guys next time, but until then, be cool.